Hello everybody. You're going to see some focusing in the background, a very fuzzy spider in the foreground. This is a mature male, Chromatopelma cyaneopubescens. My mature female is back here. I'm doing this to document the actions and the time. This started at 11:34 a.m. Eastern Time on June 10th, year 2018. I'm using breeding notes from a PDF that was given to me on these guys, and one of the first things that I was told to do was make sure that the female drums upon the male entering, or relatively soon after, which she did relatively soon after. It was less than 4 minutes that she began to drum. He was placed in the corner where you see the antler over on the left hand side, and he walked over to the skull and then came over to the side. He was climbing up. He heard her drum, and now he's climbed back down. He has had some minor vibrations in his pedipalps, but nothing to the point where he's drumming to let her know that he's here and ready to breed. So as we go, we'll update this as we go. Hopefully we'll get some good footage. It would be really, really cool if they could, breed right here on that skull. Yeah, he's vibrating his front legs right now. It's hard to see. Maybe we could try and get... He's doing it like every few minutes. See his front leg. You guys probably can't see that because the light's not all that great. But you'll see his front leg. It's there on the dish. It'll just vibrate in the air. And of course that's sending signals to her that he's here and that he wants to mate. So hopefully when she decides it's time to move, she'll come out and she will come right over there to that skull area. Like I said, that would be good. That would be good footage. That would be a good place for me to protect him. Hopefully everything's going to go nice and smooth, and we'll get a good pairing. He'll get out of it, and we'll be able to try him with a different female. I don't know if anybody actually reintroduces a male with the female GBBs if they've already mated once, because I'd be worried that they're a little bit more aggressive towards the males. I could send somebody a quick text real quick and find out if that's possible, but I have to be very, very careful here. This process could take hours, and when I mean hours, we're talking like 6 hours or more. It's kind of reason the video, why I'm doing this video, is to show everybody the process, and then when I do updates, I'll make sure that I'm as accurate as I can be with the time. So if anything happens at 2:10, I will say it's 2:10 Eastern Time. So we've been doing this, for 2 hours and 40 minutes, or 3 hours and 40 minutes, whatever it may be, and then we'll kind of notate everything that's going on here, writing stuff down, so that I can pass this on to anybody else that breeds these, and hopefully this is successful, and hopefully they get right there on that skull, because that would just make some totally awesome footage. I mean, how could you go wrong here, right? The top of the enclosure is off so that I can get at them if I need to. But she hasn't moved. Actually, she has a little bit. She's moved a little bit, but she's facing upwards in the corner there. She's not flat on the ground. So once we get him to hopefully drum a little bit, she'll come out, and then we'll start filming again. So hopefully we'll see you guys soon with good news, and yeah, we'll be back in the next clip. Hello people, we are back. It is 1:04 p.m. in the afternoon, so we're a little over an hour and a half. Well, it's an hour and a half. She's been drumming quite a bit lately, and he has moved closer. Every time she drums, he gets a little closer, but she has not moved from her position. So I'm not sure if he's going to venture in there to do the breeding. I'm really hoping that you can see how he shakes his legs there, see how the vibrations he's doing there. Now he's on parts of her webbing, not a ton of it, but still parts of it. I was hoping that she would move out this way, just in case. I I really don't want him to have to go inside there. There he is. You can see how thin. I don't know how long I've had him now, roughly a month. He's eaten twice, but he would only eat crickets. He wouldn't eat anything else, and I think each time he had 2 medium-sized crickets. I tried to feed him a few days ago, and he was not interested whatsoever. He actually ran away. Was pretty good with drinking water so far, so I think he's ready to go. I think he's good to go. Now it's just a matter of fact, it's just a matter of you can see him again vibrating those front legs, L1 and R1. He puts them up in the air and then he really quickly vibrates them, but he's not tapping, and he hasn't tapped, he hasn't drummed at all. He's just been doing that vibration in the air. I think that may be, again, I have not bred this species, and the ones that I have, it's been pretty much, pretty easy. They went right for each other pretty quickly. So this is a little bit new, watching the ritual itself. There wasn't really much to document before. He's done a little bit of that vibrating and she's been drumming, but that's really it. So we'll see how it goes. Take a picture there to document him on the skull. And I'm hoping here real soon that she decides to venture out, and if so, I will turn this back on. If he starts to venture in there, I'm not really quite sure how well we're going to be able to see it, because the way I have this Exoterra positioned on my table, I don't know if I can get the camera on the other side or not. I'm afraid to move it because I'm afraid to disturb them. So I don't really want to disturb them and interrupt her and agitate her in any way. Okay, so we'll be back with any other updates. Okay, just a quick update. The male has moved back to the glass, but he started drumming. As he did, you could see the front leg of the female there in the burrow entrance. She immediately turned and approached, and she stopped there. He stopped drumming at the moment, so more updates to come. Okay, everybody, it is 1:38, so we are 2 hours in. The male is back up on the glass. He was on the skull just a minute ago, really calling her, and she has been responding with tapping on her webbing. So there's been no show of aggressiveness. There's been no flying out to try and get him. She is slowly moving her way forward, and every time she responds, he goes back up on the glass. So next time there's something to update, I will do that. Okay, we are right around 1:45 in the afternoon, and you can see he's on the back now. He's been tapping the whole way. I'm not really quite sure what he's doing back there, but it's not particularly where I would like him. I'd prefer that he goes down. I don't know if he would make his way all the way across the back to her area over here. I'm hoping not. Yeah, he really doesn't have any way to get in back there, to be honest with you. The only real entrance is where you could see her legs, and there's not even an entrance on the other side, to be honest with you. She does have maybe she does have an escape hatch up on top in the corner there, but that's not what we want out of him. Okay, updates coming. Okay, folks, it is 2:10 in the afternoon, and he Came all the way over to the top entrance, like I said, that I didn't want him to do. I don't know if you guys can see because I'm losing the vision that I have is a little bit more limited than what you guys can't see in the camera. Anyway, you can see him right here, right? Okay, his legs are on top of her in there, and he's tapping on her now. Now, she moved all the way from where she was to the back area, but she has not turned to face him at all. He will not have a prayer in hell if he goes inside there. I will not be able to save him at all. But he is tapping now his legs. You can see his legs moving there in the shadows through the webbing. He is actually tapping on her. This is not going to be conducive for good videography. Right, Beezer? Come here, puppy. So, I had a funny feeling when he crawled across the back like that, that's exactly what he's going to do. But I didn't expect. Now he's actually crawling in there. Dude, I'm not going to be able to help you. I could see her feet moving, so. But she has not turned. I don't know how you're going to get the job done like that, but he's crawling right in there. This is kind of typical behavior for my channel. When I have an opportunity to do some good filming, my tarantulas do not cooperate with me. They have 7/8 of an enclosure that they can come out to and be perfectly visible, and the 1/8 that they can't be visible is where they're going to go. Okay, I shall update if there's any progress. Okay, we are back. It's 2:15, trying to hold this light in a spot where you guys can see. It's not the easiest thing to do. He is pretty much in there. His back legs are still out of the burrow, but he's pretty much in there. He is tapping on her, and she is tapping on the web. She has not turned as of this moment. It's kind of weird because I can see perfectly fine in that thing, but you guys, I can't see crap through this camera. It looks very shaded and dark. I don't know if a direct light in there, maybe, I don't know. Really can't see much of anything. So this has been going on since he moved to that back corner. I'm expecting success. I really am, because the way that they've been acting, and she's shown zero aggression towards him at all, so she should be full, because she had a dubia about 5 days ago and then ate that big orange head roach yesterday. I'm not concerned about her eating him, but I am concerned that there's going to be nothing I can do to save him inside there if they do pair upon the dismount or the disengaging. She may go after him right away, and there's no way in there I can stop it. Hopefully he's quick enough that he can get out of there. So if she moves, I've been able to move the tank by just picking it up and slowly rotating it on the table. I've taken everything off the table except for my camera and the tripod. So hopefully something will happen soon. We're almost 3 hours in. So we're about on, I guess, on pace for a normal courtship of this species. And you could see her, I think you guys can at least see her movement. I mean, I can see color. You just can't really see her really good because she's got a big piece of wood that goes over her. As you can see, that whole piece of wood back there is kind of like a bridge that goes to the back. So it kind of stops the light from filtering through. So much for the great skull mating session. I'm hoping maybe she'll crawl out this way and entice him out, but I have a funny feeling she's going to stay put. Okay. Okay, everybody, it is 3:13 in the afternoon. That is, of course, Eastern Standard Time. You can see that he has vacated the burrow from the back side, crawled all the way back around to the front side, spent a little time on the glass, and he's now on the skull. Of course, the whole time he was in the burrow from the back side, she was turned around the other way. The minute that he vacated, she turned around the face that way. So apparently he decided that this side was better, crawled all the way around, and is now here. But as you can see, maybe you can't see, I don't know. Try to get you a little closer here. She's still facing the other way. You can see he's tapping like crazy now, and is tapping on her abdomen, which he was doing earlier from the other side. And she didn't turn. So hopefully this is exactly the position that we want him in and her in, except we need her to do a 180. So he can't make up his mind what side he wants to enter into the burrow in. And once again he vacated that corner, he came all the way back around and she turned. So now we got to get her to turn again. Like I said, we are pushing 4 hours now. I was honestly hoping that I would get lucky and we would be all done and he would be back in his home by now. But as you can see, that has not happened. So I'm going to keep an eye on them here for a little while because he is in a you know, that thing, the position. He's in a position of where if she turns quickly, and she's going to turn, he's pushing his way in there. He's actually not, she's not turning, she's just moving away from him. Okay, she's actually turning. Let's see what happens here. She's tapping, he's tapping. This is good. This is what you want to see. Let me try and get a better camera angle. Okay, so we are going back and forth between... he's approached her, she's backed up. They tap, 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 they touch each other. He comes back a little bit. I think he's trying to get her out of this compromising position. But they do both seem to be interested in the shenanigans that will hopefully soon follow. I would time-lapse this, but for some odd reason, when I was going through my camera options yesterday, I found new options that I didn't have, and time-lapse is not there anymore. And this is the regular gallery on the S5. I don't know where the time-lapse part went, but now I have slow motion mode in half, quarter, and eighth, which I did not have before. I've never seen an update for gallery before, so I don't know what exactly is going on with that, but this would have been a good part to probably just sit and time-lapse it. Okay, I don't want to keep these clips too long, because if I just continue filming, this video could be an hour long. We definitely don't want that. So I will pause here. Maybe you could see how I don't know if you guys are seeing that. He is, she's on top, but she hasn't exposed yet, so you see how he backed back up. See, he wants her to come out. Maybe we'll just hang on here for a couple minutes. You see now he approached her, went under. She lifted a little bit, but she didn't lift where he needed her to, so he kind of backed back out and is trying to coax her to come out a little bit farther. So inside that burrow, if she decides to attack him, he has no chance. Outside of the burrow, he has much better of a chance of surviving with or without my intervention. I do have fishnet ready to kind of just poke in front of her or him if I need to separate them, or if she again with these guys, if they lunge, there's nothing you can really do. You can do your best to try and save the male, but it's pretty much next to near impossible. I've seen a lot of people do breeding, and the male will let the female will let the male pick them up, and then she just decides last minute that that's not going to happen, and she's so much bigger and stronger that she just pushes down and clamps a hold of him, and that's it. You can intervene, but if she tags him once, he's pretty much going to be dead. So with the GBBs or any other male that have the tibial hooks, what they do is they hook those into the female's fangs to keep her from biting him, basically, and that's how he holds her up. But he needs to have leverage to keep her that way, and if he doesn't have the advantage with leverage, her weight and size far outweighs his, so the safety of him is pretty much compromised. So we're going to pause here and wait to see if she'll come out for him. Then he's going to go back in again. Nope, see, she's not lifting where he feels safe. And I think that's because where she's at, her back legs are up in the air, so her leverage is down. That's not good for him at all. I'd really like to know what the tapping is telling each other. That there's communication there, and what that communication is it would be very, very interesting to figure out. I mean, you could all theorize what it means. His tapping could be like, hey, come out here. Her tapping could be like, yeah, no, if you want something, you're coming in here to get it. Okay, we're going to pause now. Okay, we're just before 4 o'clock. And there's been a bunch of back and forth with her inside of her burrow. He would go to lift her. He didn't like leverage. He would back out. This has gone on for about an hour. The last time he went in, he did not like what he experienced, I guess, and he ran out. You'll see him crawling up the side here right now. She's all the way out. This is where I think he would be, I would believe this is where he would want her. Out here, out in the open. You can see he's kind of, his shadow is kind of blocking her. She's quite a bit bigger than he is. He's long and skinny, like most males are. But I think she's pretty much done everything possible to get him to do what he needed to do. Now he's been in there so many times and lifted her up, and it's been quick. I do not think that he's inserted at all. Now she's coming around the backside here. What she's doing there, I have no idea. Maybe she's putting herself in more of a vulnerable position for him, or she's going to crawl back into her burrow. That's exactly what we don't want her to do. Now she's rubbing her bottom. Isn't that an interesting view, huh? Yeah, she's rubbing underneath, which is usually a good sign for... You can't see it. We got to get him out of the frame here. Let's move this over, see if she'll do it again. Again, he bolted really, really quick, so I'm not sure how long copulation usually lasts for GVVs, but that was pretty quick. I see that motion right there. I believe that's a good sign. So I'm going to pause here, and then we're going to give him a little bit of time to see what happens. If he doesn't approach her again, I'm going to get him out of here. She's still doing that. She's still rubbing underneath. I've seen a bunch of pairings that when the pairing was done, the female rubs underneath. That's usually a sign that the breeding was successful. But again, it had to have been pretty stinking quick. Although I've kind of been back and forth between trying to watching him over an hour and a half, go in there, lift her up, not do anything, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. This last time he flew out of there, so I'm going to assume that he did insert and that we have a good pairing. And if that's the case, we're going to go ahead and get him out. And what we'll do is we'll try to put him back in there in a couple days. I was told that, yes, they will. You can try him again in a couple days. If she's already mated, he will probably get munched. And I'd hate for him to get munched. But I need to be sure that the pairing was good. So I'm going to cut this film down just that little bit there, and send that to somebody and ask them if that's a good sign. Like I said, I'm 99% positive that that's a good sign. And if it was a insertion, it had to have been, less than 30 seconds, because he was in. I watched him lift her up again. It just looked like the same thing over and over and over again. I kind of glanced away for a second, looked back, and he was already bolting out of there. So I'm going to get the deli cup and get him out of there and back into his enclosure. And hopefully this was good. So thanks for watching, and I'll update you guys as things go on. We'll see everybody later, and have a great day.